So how do you establish boundaries with a partner without leaving or without breaking up or ending things? There's a lot of different ways to establish boundaries, but there's a couple of things in here that usually people aren't aware of, and that is the power of choice, and also looking at the choices that both you and your partner likely don't know that you're making, but that are choices. If you are caught in a cycle with a partner where you're having the same argument, you feel like you're screaming into the void, asking for whatever it is you want resolved in your relationship, recognize that unless they have a hearing problem, like they physically cannot hear you, it is a choice to not respond to your requests. It is a choice. They hear you, they're a grown adult, they process the information. If they do not respond to you in a way that changes behaviors or actions to acquiesce what it is that you're asking, that is a choice. Behavior is a language, and learning to speak it just as well as you speak English is going to be important for you to understand what's really going on between the ears. Now, you people pleasers out here, I'm a recovering one, so this is why I know this stuff. Like, I used to be the one that I'll change everything about me trying to make this relationship work, but where was that on the other side? Where was the partnership in the relationship? Where was somebody who was also seeking to make the best of the relationship with me? I was willing to do it. I was doing it. I gave up so much of myself to try to make the relationship work that it took me a good year after a 13-year marriage ended to try and figure out who I was and what I wanted, because I prioritized what he wanted the entire time. I wasn't aware I was doing that at the time, but this is where you have to understand you both are making choices. You have choice in all of this. Even recognizing where were my choices years ago where I started to self-abandon, where I started to prioritize their needs over mine. Where did I learn that prioritizing somebody else's needs and wants over my own was what made me valuable as a partner, or is what made me lovable? When I am not me, when I am having to be quiet about what I want or to just comply with whatever is being asked of me. You learn that as a kid. You learn that from a parent, and I'm sorry that that's what you learned, but it's time to take your power back. That doesn't mean that you have to end a relationship, but how much intimacy and connection can you have with a partner if you don't feel seen, heard, or validated by them? If you don't feel seen, validated, heard by a partner, and they're certainly not contributing to your life, they are making it very easy to live without them. My life got immediately better as soon as my ex-husband moved out. Why? Because it was one less child to take care of. And I don't mean that as an insult, but I was in the mothering role. So my part in that, my responsibility and how I contributed to the end of my marriage was I enabled his behavior. I put myself in that role because I didn't have boundaries. Because I didn't say, no, you need to go get a job. You sitting around watching YouTube all day while I'm working and taking care of the kids is not acceptable. This is not the partnership and the marriage we're going to have. We need to come together to figure out a solution, but this is not okay. No, I overfunctioned. There was a lot of reasons, personal reasons that I'm not going to share why I did that, but I started overfunctioning and put him in a little emotional box because he was so dysregulated and I didn't trust him. I see that now. I couldn't have seen that then. Okay? So your boundaries, your ability to say, it's not okay how this is going down. It's no longer acceptable. Here are the boundaries and here are my terms that make it a safe space for me to be in this relationship and for it to move forward. Okay? And then you say whatever that is. Then it's on them. You have given the information. They now get to choose in their little brains what happens next. Do I look at my partner as someone that I care and value and want to have in my life? Yes or no? Okay, what am I going to do with this information? Am I just going to chalk it up to she's being dramatic or he's being dramatic or not this again or oh my God, we've had the same fight? That's not somebody who values you. That's somebody who's very insecure on their own end that's not willing to step up for a partner when they're saying, hey, this is not working. And then you keep repeating the cycle until one of you just gets so fed up you just can't take it anymore and you leave. So I recommend boundaries long before you ever leave, because if you don't set boundaries, then you're going to get walked all over and they're going to be all surprised. Oh my God, I thought things were great. And you've I've been screaming and crying and desperate for years to change things. And I'm tired of screaming into the void. And I'm going to get real passionate here because I've had multiple DMs saying the same thing, that a woman is just exhausted, she's over it, like she has been trying for years to make it work with her husband, and he comes back with the most manipulative thing to say, which is, no, we made vows till death do us part, sickness and health. What about the other half of the vows, motherfucker? To love and to cherish. How's that working? Oh, you just get to pick and choose which vows? If you get to pick and choose which vows, so does she. And yes, I will be very protective of men not doing their part, because my belief, just based on the experiences I've heard from a lot of women, is men quit on relationships long before women ever quit on marriages. And that's not that we don't value marriage. It's not that we don't value vows, but you can't pick and choose the vows in which are most convenient to you and then hold the other person accountable for the vows that you're unwilling to uphold. So what's the solution? It takes both partners being vulnerable and owning their shit. Neither of you are innocent in how your relationship unfolds. Both of you are equally responsible for the demise of a relationship and any resentment that may breed, either by way of you not expressing and holding your boundaries, by you not knowing your boundaries, by you sacrificing yourself, or neglect, complacency, apathy, just trying to get to the point where you're just so, you got to recognize the choices that you've made in life to live the lifestyle that you have. So I get it. Like, men work hard and sometimes they think that's their only contribution to the family. Totally understand that. I get that. I honor that and I respect that. However, if you have created a lifestyle that requires you to sacrifice your relationship for an extended period of time, those were choices you made. Right? You made choices to live in the neighborhood and in the house and have the cars and have the trips or whatever it is, whatever financial situation you're in, those were choices made. So if you are working more than you can to maintain a healthy relationship and prioritize the relationship and the partnership, own your choices. Recognize that those were choices you made along the way that got you to the result you have. And if you don't like the result that you have, start making different choices. And that means you two coming together, equally saying, this is not working. Let's come up with a plan and steps, specific steps, not you need to try harder, or I just need you to be more physical, or I just need you to be more vulnerable. It's coming together. That's where the teamwork, the connection to get you both out of this. And if you don't have somebody who's willing to come together with you as a partner to figure out problems that you both are experiencing, or even just one of you, you don't have a partner. You don't have a relationship. You have a parent-child dynamic, and that ain't sexy. That ain't hot. So any man who's struggling to get his partner, his woman, to be more physically affectionate with you, I can tell you right now, if she felt emotionally safe, you wouldn't have to ask for a damn thing. She would be a freak in the bedroom if she felt emotionally safe. It's your job to create a space where she's emotionally safe. You can ask her what that looks like, but you have to be doing the work to be able to connect with her on that, right? And I get it. Men connect physically because likely they don't know how to connect with their emotions, but that's not your work to do. That's their work to do, okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm Tara, and I'm on a mission to create a self-aware army because it's lonely in these self-aware streets. And I'm a recovering people pleaser, so believe me, I understand all of the mindset when it comes trying to maintain and salvage a relationship and prioritizing somebody else's needs over your own. And I can promise you that's a losing game. It's a losing game.